Hey everybody, Mike with Enviroscape LA. So there is the Pacific Ocean. We're just a couple blocks from the beach, but we love the beach. And I just want to show you where we're working at today. So we are at a house in Hermosa Beach. It's a garden we installed about 3 years ago, and we just did a cleanup on it. And I just wanted to show you plants, two things: a food forest and also plants you can use for shade gardens. Now, typically, shade is not conducive to fruit trees. They just need all the sun they can get. And so in this case, we planted the fruit trees on the other side of the house. This is the north side of the house, and you can see here that it's actually a two-story, and there's the street right there. So plants that you can use for shade, because these literally have never gotten hit with the sun. There's some grass that you can use. It's called a chorus grass. It's doing okay. It's 3 years. It hasn't seen the light of day, but they use it for, there's a little shower there, so when they come back from the beach. This lavender maybe gets 2 months of sun out of the year. Does great. There's some aeoniums that do really well. We've actually got over here some deer grass, which the book says that you need to give it full sun all day, but not so. There's some kangaroo paws, which is amazing. Now, these are Phoenix robelinis. They are extremely tolerant to the shade, otherwise known as pygmy palms. What you hear going on right here, that hissing sound, we're checking the drip irrigation. We just fertilized everything with the Kellogg's organic liquid fertilizer. And here's another plant that's great. It's called a pink breath of heaven. Check out this tiny little pink flower. Gorgeous, and they're just a real wispy thing if you need something for the shade. They're very wispy. And then one of the most shade loving plants that I know of is called the Mexican cigar plant. It's actually somewhat of a native to California, and look at those flowers, profuse flowers. Never gets hit with the sun a day, and it does really well. It attracts the pollinators. One of the most perfect plants you can get. This lavender here, again, it's in the shade. There's the sun. We're almost at midday here. This thing's not going to get hit with sun until next year. At least 4 or 5 months out of the year, it gets pure shade. Does real well. More of the... we just cut this back, by the way, too. This is really overgrown. So revisiting this... we'll call this the pollinator garden on the north side. And there's the front entrance to the house. We've got some Peter Pan agapanthus here. They bloom in the summertime, get tons of blooms. Here is the kangaroo paw. Again, this is November, so they don't have any flowers on them. Actually, today's election day, 2020, so here we are, and working in the garden. More lavender. There's flax. Now, that's an interesting thing because flax doesn't actually... the book says that likes lots of sun. This has been growing for 3 years in shade and looks okay. Here's aeonium. This is a succulent, a chorus grass, another flax, and then you can see the stairway that's kind of going through. Now you notice this is we're at a corner here, so it's like they have two front yards. Here's the front yard, the front door, more or less, and then what's their side yard is as big as their front yard. Is over here, and this is where we put the food forest. Now what's interesting is here we put some a triple trunk, multi-trunk Phoenix robelini. Does real well in sun or shade. There's more agapanthus. Here's the paddle plant. Here's some more aeonium sunburst, and put some sit rocks. But let's go through the design here on this. So we have some flagstone. And now this is where it actually does get hit with sun. This is a lamb Haas avocado. This is this side that we wanted to be a food forest. And there's another one of those pink breath of heaven. Then we have an apple tree. Had some huge apples on it before we got to today. Don't know what happened, but the other one has it. So here's avocado, here's apple, here's citrus, here's a peach. The reason it's a dwarf right now is because it actually broke because it had so many peaches on it. Here we go. This is actually the lamb Hass avocado. Check out the size of the fruit. And this tree, it's specifically, if you ask for the lamb Hass avocado, it doesn't get more than about a bit as big as it is now. And here we go with the apple trees. Check out the Fuji apple. We're in Hermosa Beach, California. Size of those apples, they just do really well. And then on each side of the entrance to the backyard, there's citrus on each side. So it's a mixture. Here's a salvia. So these things are native to California. But I just wanted to show you a mixture of native pollinators and fruit trees made. It just has the wow factor. It could have just been a bunch of fruit trees in a row, but you don't want to live at a farm. You want to live in a house that has some flair to it. So do you see the distinction between the bark right around the tree and then the Mexican pebbles that we used? And then we put a stainless steel border around to give it some flair. These are more aeoniums. And you can see the design that's on there. Then here's the sidewalk, and then here's a step here so that you can get to the apples. And then it just transitions down. So Mike with Enviroscape LA signing off. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.